Welcome back, Radiant Scholars. Today we're going to be learning about rationalizing denominators. Now, you may not see any fractions on the screen, and that is actually because we have to learn about surds first before we touch fractions. Now, what you'll see here is some square roots. The only surd on the left side is actually root 3, because you can't simplify root 3 down into a whole number because it's irrational. Now with the roots under root 3, they're not actually surds because you can simplify them further. So with root 4, the square root of 4 is 2, because 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Then the square root of 9 is 3, the square root of 16 is 4, and the root of 25 is 5. Alright, fairly simple. Now, if you have root 12, what you can do is say that is equal to 2 roots multiplying each other. So, like this. Alright, so you may not know what to do with this information, but what you can do is make it root 4 times root 3. Now you'll see that on the left side root 4 is equal to 2, so you can just say that is equal to 2 root 3. A similar thing with root 27, we can just see that a factor of 27 is 9, and 9 times 3 equals 27. So root 9 times root 3, then we can make it 3 root 3. And then the same old root 25 times root 3 is equal to 5 root 3. Okay, so if you have a fraction with a surd in the denominator like 1 over root 3, what you want to do is multiply the top and the bottom by root 3. And what this will do is remove the surd from the denominator, because root 3 times root 3 is just 3, and then on the top you'll get root 3. So 1 over root 3 is equal to root 3 over 3. And for any other surd, this is the same thing. So if it was root 5, you just multiply the top and the bottom by root 5. And let's just get into the questions. Okay, so this might be a bit of a jump from the first page, but it's not too hard if you just break it down. So what you want us to do is look at the denominator here. It's root 2 minus 1. And what you want to do is flip around the sign in the middle of the terms. So make it root 2 plus 1. Now you just multiply the top and the bottom by root 2 plus 1 in order to rationalize it. Now what this will do is remove the square root from the denominator and make it so that there's only whole numbers in the denominator, which people like to do because it makes it easier to work with. So let's just do that right now. 6 minus root 8, which you can simplify root 8 if you do the root a times root b thing. Then we do root 2 minus 1 times root 2 plus 1 on the top and the bottom, like this. What I like to do is I like to put them in brackets after this, so 6 minus root 8. I won't repeat everything because there's a lot to say, but just I like to do this. Okay, now we just multiply and expand the double brackets. So you would do 6 times root 2, then 6 times 1, and then minus root 8 times root 2, and then minus root 8 times 1. So you would get 6 root 2 plus 6 minus root 16, because you multiply the whole numbers under the square root, and then you get minus root 8. It's quite long, but we can simplify it later. So root 2 times root 2 you get 2, because if the whole number under the square root is the same, then you just get the whole number. The next two terms will cancel out, because root 2 times 1 is equal to plus root 2, but then minus 1 times root 2 is equal to minus root 2. Then you'll see that these are cancelling out. And then minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. Now I would simplify the top. So 6 root 2, you can't simplify root 2. You get plus 6. Root 16 simplifies to 4. Then root 8 simplifies to root 4 times root 2. So it becomes 2 root 2. The root 2's on the bottom cancel out, and you get 2 minus 1, which is just equal to 1. And when you get 1 in the denominator, it's basically useless. Just throw that away. And then we'll see that 2 root 2 is taken away from 6 root 2 to get 4 root 2. And then 6 minus 4, you just get 2. The question asks for a plus b root 2. There. Can't really point all the way. But I'm just going to flip it around because it wants us to. We'll just say 2 plus 4 root 2 is our answer. Okay, that's 3 marks, nice. So it's mostly the same idea here, but instead of the sign on the bottom being minus, we have a plus. So what we'll do is flip around the sign, as I said, we get 5 minus root 3 instead. I can just work through this easily, use what we've learned, 8 plus root 12, 5 plus root 3, multiply it by the opposite sign. I'll write it in the brackets. I don't know why my pen feels a bit thicker than last time. I don't like how the thickness is changing. Okay, so 8 times 5, 40, minus 8 root 3, plus 5 root 12, and then 12 times 3 is 36. Which we can simplify. Then we get 25 minus 5 root 3 plus 5 root 3, which will cancel out, and then minus 3. So we get 40 minus 8 root 3, which can't be simplified, plus 5, but it has root 12, so root 4 times root 3 is equal to 12, which is 2 root 3. But when you have 5 times 2 root 3, it becomes 10 root 3. And then root 36 is just equal to 6. The 5 root 3's on the bottom cancel out, so you get 25 minus 3, which is 22. We're pretty close to the answer. You can just do 40 minus 6, which is 34. Minus 8 root 3 plus 10 root 3, which is 2 root 3. Then we get 22. But notice that the question asks for a plus root 3 over b, and there's no coefficient behind root 3, because we can actually simplify this further if we just divide everything by 2. And there's your answer. Nice, 4 marks. Alright, here's our last question. It's a little bit cringe, but I'll tell you later why. Root 188, it's quite a big number, but we can simplify it because of root 36. So root 36 times by root 5 minus 2 root 5. Then we've got 5 root 5 minus 5. Then we just multiply by the opposite sign. Root 36 root 5 is equal to 6 root 5 minus 2 root 5. Then we've got 5 root 5 plus 5 and all of that. So 4 root 5 now, multiplied by 5 root 5 plus 5 over 5 root 5 minus 5. Yeah, there's a lot of writing when you do these questions. Finally, we actually get to do something. So 4 times 5 is equal to 20, and root 5 times root 5 is equal to 5. So we've got 20 times 5, so 100. And then 4 root 5 times 5, which is 20 root 5. So 5 root 5 times 5 root 5 is 5 times 5 times 5, so 125. Then you just cancel out these things, And then minus 5 times 5 is minus 25. Okay, now just collect the whole numbers and the surds together. So 100 plus 20 root 5 over 125 minus 25, which is 100. And here's the cringe part, because what you need to do is split the fraction. Because see how it says a plus root 5 over b? But we've got some kind of different thing down here. So what I'll say is that 100 over 100 plus 20 root 5 over 100 is the same thing. You just simplify this further, one last step. 100 over 100 is just 1. The top and the bottom, by 20 you get root 5 over 5, which is in the correct form. So yeah, that's it on rationalizing denominators, and I hope you learned something new today. Alright, see you in the next lesson.